November's delegate, please come to order. Will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Please be reviewing the minutes, and we will have a law enforcement update.
Thank you. Good morning, Century Village. How's everyone?
Morning.
Still hot out for November, huh? All right. We have Major Matina with us, our North Regional Major. So thank you, sir, for coming. Lieutenant Monath sends his regards. He's busy moving, so that's why he's not here with us this morning. So we had a relatively busy month in Century Village. I'll start with the traffic report. We conducted 35 traffic stops in the village for the month of October. We wrote 28 citations, 3 criminal citations in addition to the 28 citations, and there was 4 crashes. 2 were accidents and 2 were hit and runs. The hit and runs were minor, and we looked into those. For the cases of interest, again, no surprise, what do you think the largest category of cases? Fraud. Very good, fraud. And I was just approached by a resident who wanted me to bring something up that's not in the report, but be careful answering ads on Craigslist. Craigslist has devolved into one of the more lower type of communication tools that people use to try to market people or to scam with Craigslist. So there's a lot of fraud on that, so be careful. They tried to entice someone to come here and rent a unit that wasn't available to rent. So just be careful looking at ads on Craigslist or some of these other social media sites. A lot of times they're not legitimate. So for the first fraud that we have here, the complainant received a call from Bank of America alerting him an unknown person attempted to open a bank account using his personal information. Fortunately, that was not, didn't come to fruition, and that was stopped. Second case we have is victim reported 2 of his accounts were missing $50,000 and have been closed. However, we do have suspects, and they appear to be family members, so we're looking into that, unfortunately. So sometimes we talk about these strangers that are committing, just be careful. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones that either have jealousy issues or have ulterior motives. So just be careful. We had a TikTok fraud. Complainant was on a TikTok group chat with a person claiming to be a 4-star general in the Army. And that 4-star general was on tough times. He was asking for money for his son's boarding school in California. Fortunately, no money was lost in that one. Victim received a call from Discover Credit Card about suspicious charges on her card. It's unknown when or where the charges took place, and the victim still has possession of her card. Discover Credit Card Bank is taking care of that. Victim reported a Mercury Card Service credit card in the mail he didn't apply for, and the charges on the account added up to over $1,800. Yeah. We had a theft. A victim hired a contractor in February to renovate the residence. A contract was signed stating the work would be done within 4 to 6 weeks, and a total of $40,000 in check was mailed to the contractor. As of October, the work has not been completed. We're looking into that. You got to be careful. Sometimes when you enter into these agreements with contractors or vendors, it's very fine line between civil and criminal. So you got to stay on top of these individuals. And there's if you get into a situation like that, contact us. We can help you. There are certain forms that you need to make sure you're keeping your contractor adhering to the law. So in case they don't finish your work or they abscond with your money, we can also pursue them criminally as well as civilly. There was a vandalism. A car was keyed in the village. Suspicious incident. Complainant reported items were missing from her home. However, the doors left unlocked most of the day and night. So it was more of a suspicious incident. Maybe these items were misplaced. We had 1 residential burglary. It claims here home was for sale. No one's authorized to enter, but the realtor and the owner's husband. They found the front door was open and the door handle was damaged, but there was nothing missing, fortunately. And we had a call of one disturbance. A complaint advised 2 males were involved in a disturbance regarding a theft of a bicycle. Overall, there were 235 calls for service within the village, and we had 46 cases reported. That's my report. Does anybody have any questions for the sheriff's office? I know you have a busy meeting today. Yes. The question was, if you enter into an agreement or conduct business with a contractor without a license, do you have recourse? It depends on the situation, but there's always recourse. So the best thing to do is always sign a contract and make sure you get the contract reviewed. I mean, best case scenario is by an attorney, right? But we're all not wealthy people that have attorneys on retainer. But you know, if you have someone that has some contract knowledge or someone that is able to guide you, have the contract reviewed by somebody to make sure that you have safeguards and protections within the contract. And you can do a lot of research online to make sure contracts are going to, withhold. Now, if you end up doing business with someone that's not licensed and you don't sign a contract, it makes it that much more difficult, right? Because this is all verbal. So either how much harder is that going to be criminally to prove than civilly? Civilly, you only need a preponderance of evidence, and you'd have to take your case before a civil judge to hear that. Criminally, you need a lot more thresholds to make a criminal case. Well, that's not how we do things in Florida. So if you're a victim of a crime, the sheriff's office will assist you. Now, that doesn't mean that if it doesn't fit a criminal statute, but we will refer you and try to get you the help that you need. Okay. There was a question over here.
Wasn't in here.
Yeah, ma'am, I don't, what day was that? Last Tuesday? I'll see if it's listed here.
We can answer that for you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Donald.
Good morning, everyone. This probably haven't even hit the report yet for PBS. So earlier this week, a janitorial worker with no previous criminal record came to work with a gun and was driving around in a golf cart trying to shoot his girlfriend, apparently. PBSO locked down the property and locked down this facility. The worker was apprehended. He's in jail. The weapon was recovered. So that's the long and the short of it. He's out. He's still in jail and has not yet posted bail. Okay? Any other questions? Absolutely. When the thing happened?
It wasn't in the.
There was no gun in the...
It wasn't
You
in-
weren't notified because I'm fairly sure that our security staff here and the police wouldn't want to cause a panic, but you were locked down until that fellow was apprehended. And yeah. It wasn't deemed to be an active shooter situation. They were just looking for this fellow, and he didn't even have a weapon on him when he was apprehended. He had stashed that someplace else. So this wasn't a situation where you needed to be worried, but it has been getting around. So better to everybody know what's what. Exactly right.
Rumor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keyword.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Well, you're welcome, ma'am. Our pleasure. Thank you. That's very sweet. Yes, sir.
What recourse do you have with contractors that are coming in and working under other contractors? Actually, they're not legitimate contractors.
I could take that, Councilman.
Working as contractors.
Sir, you should direct that to Donald, our CAM. He'll be more than happy to help you with that answer.
Yeah. It was another contractor question, and again, it kind of dovetails into what I said. You got to be careful who you do business with. I mean, if you're going to have a handyman come over your house and do some simple work, well, maybe that doesn't require a licensing thing and a contract and all this official stuff. But if you're going to have a kitchen remodeled or some kind of extensive work, that's a different story. You really want to deal with a reputable company and someone that has that's licensed and insured. So if something does go wrong in your home or on your property, because if you have someone that's not licensed or someone that you're doing a side deal with and they come onto your property and they get hurt, well, guess what? You're opening yourself up to liability. You could be sued. So you got to take all that into consideration.
Mr. Farhi, if you send me an email, I'll refer you to Palm Beach County Code Enforcement, but also Palm Beach County Division of Contractor Certification. That's their wheelhouse, okay? Yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing it up is we have several guys riding around the village doing work
Turn them in.
that are licensed, that are working under other guys' license.
Turn them in.
Yeah, if you know that, you would report that's a code enforcement issue, and you can report that to your HOA or to code enforcement.
Get with me, and I'll help you turn them in.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Anybody else? He's asking, is there a law against excessively loud mufflers?
Not excessively loud.
Not really. No. I mean, yeah. Years ago, we were able to enforce loud music and some other noise type of statutes, but like anything else, attorneys sued on behalf of that as a First Amendment kind of free speech thing. The legislator rewrote the law, so we're kind of getting back into that. But when it comes to a mechanical issue with the car, now if it's a loud muffler and the deputy pulls the vehicle over, he can cite him for unsafe or improper equipment. So yes, there is something that can be done, but the deputy has to be there and has to hear it and then conduct a traffic stop and investigate. You're welcome. Okay. All right, I'll turn it back over to you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 1 o'clock. Sergeant
you.
Kush will be there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fausto. Thank you. Bye, folks.
Fausto, do we have a quorum? Do we have a quorum?
I'm happy to announce that we have 135 delegates in the room, plus guests, so we have a quorum. We can conduct business. The next thing is I need someone to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Joyce makes a motion, seconded by George. All right, thank you. All right. It's been kind of like crazy in here trying to keep things going. I'll give you a little bit of an update. David is doing better. He is in rehab, and he is planning to come back. We just don't know when. I know a lot of people are asking. That's all that we can really tell you at this point. After this meeting today, please do not leave. You're going to have Congressman Mass, Commissioner Weiss, and representatives from Medicare and the IRS they're gonna make a presentation of about 7 minutes, and then they will be out in the lobby to answer any of the questions that you have pertaining to the subjects that they're willing to discuss. Other than that, I just want to say thank you to all the good residents, all the good reps for the buildings and the good job that you're doing to keep your buildings up, and for the respect that you give to the officers that you've elected to keep Century Village safe. And one other thing, I would like to ask everybody to give a round of applause for security, because they do one hell of a job in Century Village. Okay. Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? No unfinished business. Great. Next, we have Platinum Security Contract. This contract has gone to the officers. It has gone to the executive board. It has gone through our legal. It has gone through insurance and the insurance legal department. Certain changes were made to make this contract more comfortable for us. Does anybody have any questions on this contract? I'll accept the motion to.
Wait, another question.
I need a motion first to accept the contract and a second. Bobby made the motion, seconded by George. Okay. What's your-
Donald, I'm just asking, the thing that I send you, some of them are critical. Have they been put into the new contract?
Yes, as I responded to you, Mr. Gladstone, your questions or your suggestions will be sent to our attorney after this contract is approved, but before it is signed.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
Does anybody have any questions on this contract? We have a motion, we have a second. I know we did away with the clickers today, so if you are in favor of renewing this contract, please vote now.
Do we have to go on council? Can't count. Can we do?
But again,
Thank you. Are there anyone opposed? Is anyone opposed to this contract?
Do we have any no's? Any?
Carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we have one abstention.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Officers' report. We'll start with Bob.
I got nothing to say today.
Whoa.
Oh,
They like it.
oh, well, in that case, no.
Dominic?
I don't have much to say either, but remember, tomorrow night you have to change the clock back because you get an extra hour sleep. We've had a prediction of a very wet week next week, and many of you and new people who come to your buildings are new and seeking a barcode. A barcode can only be put on a dry window. So the fact is that if it rains all week, we have no choice but to turn you away, and you'd have to come back after on a dry day. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
What do we have? Go ahead, Ed. Treasurer's report.
Good morning, everybody. And I, too, like to see everybody here and wish everybody a good Thanksgiving, which is coming forward, so keep your appetite up. My report today, I think, is going to be a good one. Our results for the 10 months are really good. We're within less than $40,000 of what we predicted in the budget. But equally, and maybe more important, which is a topic that's been brought up before, things change, and one of the things that changed is, you know, that I had brought up at the T-bills, and we have a problem as far as what the bylaws permit at this point. However, the market has turned, and currently we can get up to 4% on CDs. So that's in the bylaws. I'm working on a program where we will be able to utilize a fair amount of those CDs and not have a whole harangue of 50 different banks. So if that goes through at 4%, the simple mathematics that I've been using, that could bring us $200,000 in interest, which has not been figured into next year's budget. So by the next meeting, a program will be presented. Hopefully the market doesn't swing back again, but I think that's great. It'll help us, and we need all the help we can get. Any questions? I'm here. Any other questions, if you have, come up to the office. I see someone has a question. Now the question is, do I have an answer?
Quick questions, Ed. I'm Mark from Kings Wisd. When I look at your accounts receivable report, okay?
Yeah.
And I see myself there, as my association, with a minus. That means that I overpaid you guys?
Absolutely.
So I can underpay you next payment and everything is fine?
The answer is there's a few overpayments. They are being reconciled. Did you change CAMs?
No, I went through it. So I can just tell them to underpay you the $524 next month.
Well, come into the office next week and we'll reconcile it. And if you overpaid, we'll reduce your payment for next month.
Okay, yeah, because it does show minus here. Okay.
I'm glad you picked that up.
Yeah, and then there's quite a few associations that show minus as well, so.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Stuart, you're next.
Good morning. November is quite an interesting month because it's a month before December, and we begin to start thinking about where did the year go? And a couple of things about November. November 7th, or November 11th is Veterans Day, and it's also the day that World War I ended. I'm a social studies teacher. I just wanted to remind you. The number of units being sold in Century Village has dropped dramatically. However, we find many of the residents coming back from up north, and we greatly appreciate them coming back. But when they come into the office to renew their barcodes, it would be nice for them to keep or have with them their automobile registrations, which seems to disappear from the last time they were here. And it makes it very difficult for us to service them, and some of them walk out angry. We don't want that to happen, but the fact is that they just don't have what is needed to get this service. Thanksgiving is coming along, and we all celebrate it, but because of inflation, I suggest that you put a picture of a turkey on your table and provide your guests with a Cornish hen and tell them that it shrunk in the oven. And to make it easier for them, give them a couple of extra glasses of gin or vodka or wine or whatever you serve. And with that, I am finished and turn it over to my colleague.
Yeah, that was very good. I don't think I could even overdo that. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's so nice to see so many people here who are interested. As you know, I speak very little. I also write very small articles because I know you're all anxious to get out of here. As I am. Not supposed to say that. The only thing I want to bring up that I find people don't understand, make sure, it's so important to make sure that your documents and your declaration agree with each other. I find that a lot of people just do amendments and they don't change it in their declaration. You have to be very, you have to be on top of that, because they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, but this is in my bylaws, but it's not in the declaration, you know. So there's a lot of arguments going on that could be prevented, like I'm doing my bylaws over, and hopefully before the end of this year, be able to give it to the people. You know, there's rules and regulations everywhere. My building is basically a good building, but I get, how come I can't keep a plant outside? Or I can't put a wreath on the door? Well, the bylaws say you can't. You know, unfortunately, I think it's pretty, but if that's what the bylaws say, don't get mad at the board. It's in the bylaws. So please check your bylaws, read them. A lot of people don't read their bylaws. I know it's boring, and ours is that big. Anyway, I want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, happy Veterans Day. Be safe. Please drive carefully. God bless you.
Thank you, Patricia. Joanne.
Morning, everybody, and thank you all for showing up. I very briefly, along with what Patricia was talking about, the keeping your records up to date. We're coming up on, annual meeting time of year, so some of your boards will be changing. Whenever there's a change in your board, the paperwork at UCO needs to be updated, and Carolyn is keeping great records of all of the associations, so sign-in has really been as clean and simple as possible. So whenever there's a change in your board, please have the entire paper filled out, stamped with the seal, and bring it in, leave it with the front desk at UCO. So that is just important as we get into, that time of year when boards tend to change after annual meetings. So, and that's it. That's my
Thank you, Joanne.
comment.
You're doing good.
A couple of items in your package, third page from the end. There's been a change in some of the scheduling that went out. The office will be closed on Thanksgiving Day and will be closed the Friday after, which is the next day, and executive board has been canceled. You have it in your package, please read it. Next month, at the Delegate Assembly, pill drop will be back. Save your pills and drop them off. Remember, there's a list of items that you cannot bring. Do not bring olive oil, do not bring baby oil. This is for pills, okay? If you have any questions, just do the job of posting this on your bulletin board in front of your building so that your people don't throw the stuff down the toilet and brings it here so we could recycle it. I don't remember the last pill drop that we had, but at one point we had over 400 pounds worth of pills. So we don't want that stuff going into water or the toilets. Okay, it's a lot of pills. It's a lot, yes, it's a lot of pills. Donald, CAM report, please.
You people take a lot of pills. All right, real quick. I hope you're happy with the fence that was installed along Haverhill Road. Over the past month, we made some additions there. That entire stretch of fence is now cambered. So if any jumpers or cutters, we're gonna be able to see who they are. We're working with FP&L to get some additional streetlights put on the inside of the fence to light that fence up a little better. Second thing that happened just recently is that the license plate recognition cameras that you approved last month have been installed. They'll be operational within a week. We hope to see that this might work out for us. So we'll have to learn how to use them, and apparently PBSO already does. So I'll bring reports on that as we use them. That's pretty much all I got, and hopefully you'll have some questions for me. All right, hit it. Cambridge G.
Yeah, I was just made aware that a company working behind us by the canal,
Yeah.
and they took the fence out.
Say it again?
They took the fence out.
The fence is down, they said. Took the fence. The fence hasn't been put up. They said that the company was coming back to put it up, and they haven't been back.
Cambridge G.
Yeah, behind, close by the canal.
Okay.
Cameras everywhere, but they coming into the southern border this.
Okay. Cambridge G is adjacent to North Canal. Cambridge G, right? North Canal. So I'll go over there, take a look, see what's what. I'm not sure what we're dealing with there. You're welcome. Anybody else?
Come up to the mic, right over here.
Come up to the mic.
Come on.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Kogan,
Good morning.
Dorchester E. Good morning. I would appreciate it, or certainly our building would appreciate it if the boards would, if the boards would be aware that it would be nice not to dump into other people's dumpsters. We have no construction going on in our building at the moment. However, this past week, people from other buildings have been dumping construction materials.
Where do you live, ma'am?
Dorchester E.
Okay.
Security's wonderful. They came and took pictures, despite it not being from our building, over and over. It would be really nice if you could take this back to your buildings, not to do that. We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
This is a recurring problem. It never seems to go away.
It's just awful.
Here's where it gets tough. Each of your associations has an individual contract with Waste Pro for dumpster space. What you pay for is not a particular dumpster in a particular place, but cubic yardage. A 24-unit building like mine gets 3 cubic yards. Now, each dumpster is 2 cubic yards. So here's the question: which half of the other one do I own, and we have to share. So unfortunately, sometimes you'll have apartment cleanouts, and rather than put them in their own dumpster and have a mess, they'll go across the street. Drives people insane.
They're actually large. They were large items that should have been placed outside to be picked
Correct.
up on Friday.
Exactly, pick up day.
But on Monday, it
Now,
was in our dumpster.
some of you will see me on Friday mornings very early, driving every inch of this property, looking for large bulk trash piles. There is a limit to how much bulk you can put out on a particular week. It's 2 cubic yards. What would fit into a small green dumpster? Today, I found the whole unit clean out at Cambridge, Canterbury H. They're going to have to pay for that. It won't be picked up today. So I forwarded it to the property manager and the board, and we push them. But if they leave it for more than the weekend, I'll call code enforcement, and I'll have them cited.
Right. And we have no idea who dumped it.
No, that's another problem, dump and runs.
So
I spent a lot of time chasing garbage in this place.
thank you very much. That's it.
You're welcome, thank you. Hi, Mary Ann.
Hi, Donald. How are you? I want to talk a little bit about if you have a pet, a dog.
All right, dog.
Are you supposed to walk them on your own property or everybody else's?
All right, look, yes, they're supposed to walk them on their own property. The board, the association, should designate a pet relief area on the property but obviously, nobody listens, right? The dogs are all over the place.
I know, I mean.
The problem is enforcement, Mary Ann. At one time, before I started working here, before I even lived here year-round, we actually had security tell people, you can't walk your dog, you got to take them home. The abuse that they got, the vendor at the time said, we're not going to do this anymore, we're going to get hurt. So it's a problem. For the most part, I have to say, Mary Ann, that the pet owners do clean up after their animals. My janitorial guys do very little picking up of dog dirt.
I know in a couple other places around the country, they have little stands where you can grab the gloves out.
Some of the associations have provided that to
Yeah.
people.
That's a good idea.
They're on Amazon. They're relative. The roll of bags is about $10, and they last forever.
All right.
So
give you
it's
a
a thing, you know. Dogs are not gonna. I always say when it comes to dogs, the cat's out of the bag.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too, Marianne. Good morning.
Good morning. I live in Norwich O, right across from the fence. I'm very happy with the fence, but I'm curious why the barbed wire didn't go back on.
Oh, good question. We weren't allowed. That's the long and the short of it. Current code does not allow barbed wire to surround residential. We pushed, and the answer was a firm no. So I couldn't get those. I had to take those off the permit. What we did to compensate for that is to put stealth cams along the entire length. To be honest with you, I've not known the barbed wire. If someone's going to jump the fence, I've not known that to stop them. They'll cut the fence. Or I've seen issues where they put a piece of cardboard on top of the barbed wire or palm fronds, you know, like they're in the Viet Cong or something, and they get right over the fence. So I wish we had it, but it wasn't an option.
And what did you say you put to
Cameras.
compensate?
There's
Cameras.
Cameras, okay, good.
All right, they're called stealth cams. They're standalone. They're battery operated. They work on an SD card. Very, very, very inexpensive. Very easy to put up. You do have to change out the cards once a week and look at the footage, which is time consuming. But it's the one. It's the one border that I actually worry about. That's the one we've had people, hop fences. Now, in most cases, the fence hoppers or the fence cutters belong here. They're people who don't have a car, and rather than walk all the way down and go all the way in, you think about it, it's miles. They'll cut the fence, and we deal with that on a daily basis. So
Right.
it's
Thank you very
That's why I look
much.
like this. We're always going after this stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Yes. First of all, I want to compliment you guys, Kevin Hackett from Berkshire 8.
Hi, Kevin.
On using, both sides of the paper. Thank you for doing that again.
Yeah,
Now we
save the trees.
Yes. But I sort of answered the question. We don't have a camera that can be monitored on that new fence, correct?
When you say monitored,
you said it's an SD card, so it's not hooked up to any of our security.
once a week on Sunday mornings, a security officer swaps out I believe there's 38 of them now total on that stretch, and other places I don't tell anybody about. But every Sunday, each one of those SD cards are swapped out, and the security officer looks at every one of them, looking for people jumping the fence. Now, obviously, if we have a report, then they'll go directly to the camera and pull the SD card. It's a caveman solution, but it's very cheap and easy, and the learning curve is zero. So sometimes the least technologically advanced thing is the easiest. That's what we went with.
Okay, thanks, Donald.
You're welcome,
Also,
Kevin.
thank you for filling in. Great job.
Thank you. Ruth, would you like to expand on our wonderful UCO report?
I'd love to. Good morning, everybody. The breakdown for the 10-month period ending in October is in your packet. But first, I would like to apologize to the Southampton community for not posting in the Reporter their delegates present at the last meeting. It was my error. I skipped it. I'm sorry. Southampton, in fact, has 3 delegates per building that can vote, and at least 1 from each building. Each of the 3 was present. So again, I'm sorry. I'll be more careful with this meeting. Secondly, in conjunction with our closing, the printing office that does our paper will also close from Thanksgiving Day for the whole weekend until Monday. So don't look for your papers until Tuesday, the 29th. We'll be a little bit late, but you will get your paper before the December meeting. That's all I have to tell you. Just keep reading the paper.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss, would you like to bring us up to date?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. A couple of things I'd like to talk to you about. First thing is, remind everybody we're still in hurricane season. It's not unusual. We have 2 active hurricanes right now out in the water. So just be aware, keep watching. It's not unusual. What is unusual right now in November is to have 2 of them at the same time, and that is unusual, but it's not unusual to have them. Second thing, Veterans Day is coming up, and I want to thank all of our veterans and invite you all. I'll be participating in a parade in Lake Worth Beach tomorrow morning, and then West Palm Beach is having their parade on Sunday, so come out and let's celebrate our veterans and the work they've done for our country. Third thing is, as you know, we have an election. Has anybody not noticed anything in their mail or phone calls or emails? If not, just a reminder, you can early vote still. If you have a vote by mail ballot, please don't put it in the mail at this point. It's too late to count on the Postal Service to get it in. You'll have to take it in person or go to early voting, or you can vote on Election Day, Tuesday, November the 8th. And then the last thing I was asked to talk about is there was an application for a house of worship to go into the commercial building or property over here. There was a hearing yesterday by the Zoning Commission. The Zoning Commission is responsible in Palm Beach County for approving any variances. My understanding, though, with this application, there were, I think, originally 4 variances requested, 5, thank you, requested. They were able to make changes to what they were doing to not require, I think they ended up with 2. And the Zoning Commission did vote to approve those variances. They will not come to our hearing on November 28th. What will come to the hearing on November 28th is the change of use. The current use of that building, or that portion of that building, is as an adult daycare center to a house of worship. And so that will be coming in front of our board on the 28th. The other will be the site plan, the reconfiguration of the site plan for that property. I'm limited in what I can can say. I have listened to all of you. All of you have emailed me. I think I've responded to pretty much almost everybody I try to let you know that I have read your emails. But because this is a zoning matter, there's limited things I can say in public about what I think about everything. So with that, I can take any questions, if that's okay with Mr. President. Yes, sir. They had to do with I believe there was a setback, and what was
The swimming pool.
The pools.
and the pools. So the pools were approved.
They were approved?
No,
They limited, they were able to, the way they reconfigured the site, the amount of parking places they were going to lose complies with the code.
It's a good thing election.
Can't hear you.
It's,
They're approving the pools and so forth, they're well on their way to getting approved as a synagogue.
as a house of worship, yes. Yeah.
Pastor, I can comment on the pools.
What?
I can talk on the pools.
Yes.
Yeah.
On November 28th, will we be allowed into the building downtown?
9 o'clock, 9 a.m. It's at 301 North Olive Avenue, downtown West Palm Beach.
Guys, this is the meeting that will happen on the 28th. UCO is providing bus transportation to and from the meeting. You won't have to worry about parking. What the commissioners said about the pools, there were some modifications to the approved variances. It included shrinking one of the pools to pull it back from Somerset A. So there'll be Stratford A. Sorry. So there'll be a 30-foot buffer between the end of the pool and Stratford A.
Yeah.
Please, can you guys come up to the mic, please?
Come up to the microphone, please.
Why are they allowing the pools to go in when we already have 18 pools in this area? I've been here 47 years, and this is ridiculous what's going on, and you're not helping it. Not helping it. I've been here, I fought them 12 years ago, and we won because I fought them 12 years ago, and they wanted to take over. We stopped them, okay? We had 3 courtrooms full of Century Village people coming to that. Yesterday was terrible. Nobody showed up. You
That's
get on a
right.
bus or have people take you to the courthouse. Show up the 28th.
Cookie.
Commissioner Wise, I have a question also. Was it brought up that any commercial building inside the village has to be for everybody in the village? I understand that this new worship for the Jewish is not even for all the Jewish people. So is this been brought up? It's a very, very limited sect that is actually using the building, not the whole village. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to say something. You're complaining, a lot of people are complaining. Where were you yesterday? November, we had 24 people on the bus. Shame on you.
Thank you.
And only 20 people drove. They had 150 people. If you really care that much, please make sure you show up November 28th, because numbers do count. It didn't seem like we cared too much when we went into the room. It was really a shame.
Pat? Patricia?
Thank you.
Yeah, there's 35 people here today. 135 people that are here today. Why weren't you here yesterday at the hearing? You come here, you speak here, you can speak at the courts. Make sure you're there the 28th. Your bus is going to be out here. I'm not going to tell you again. And Donna gets it straightened out. Get your name on the bus and get down there so we can show our presence. Because like I said, 12 years ago, we had 3.5 courtrooms full of our people. So think about it, people. Otherwise, we're not going to have a Century Village anymore. Pardon?
Yeah.
What time?
Yeah.
What time we got to be here?
Can we let Commissioner Weiss finish with his thoughts? Thank you.
Thank you, Cookie.
The meeting will begin at 9:30 a.m.
So come earlier.
So, I'm not a legal expert. We will have our lawyers opine on the use and what, in fact, what the law or how the courts rule about that use. But, so I'll just leave it at that.
Isn't there a very fine line there? Because one of the commissioners was saying that. They got to be very careful. So I think if a lawyer takes a look at it, maybe we'll find some loophole that will have more, we'll have something to stand behind us.
Not the place to,
Pardon me?
we shouldn't be discussing this at this point.
Okay.
We're not asking the commissioner to be an attorney.
Okay, no problem. No, we're not.
Thank you.
I know I've been told I look like an attorney. I'm not.
Thank you.
Everyone on that bus, if you want to be on it, we'll order as many buses as you like, but just send me an email, yukomaintenance@gmail.com. I'll put you on a list, just so I have an idea how much bus to order for the 28th, all right? Yes, Neil?
Can you also say that I requested the recording for some of this?
Yes, that's another thing. Thank you, Niels. We're going to have a recording of the hearing up on community media in the next couple of days. It'll be up on Channel 590. We'll put it on the blog, so you can watch that meeting and see what transpired. The commissioners' meeting will be on community media as well. All right, but just let me know if you want to be on the bus, so I have enough bus for you. All right, thank you.
On that note, if most of us that watch Channel 590 over the last several months have noticed that the channel was deteriorating, that particular channel is now crystal clear. It has been repaired. Make sure you watch 590, 591, and 592. At this time, I would like to have Amy from Ann Gannon's office. She would like to address you.
Good morning. How is everyone? Fabulous. And I hope you had that same fabulous response when you opened up your mailbox and found your property tax bill. Yeah. So, inside your bill, there was this handy brochure. I hope everyone took a couple minutes to read it. It's great information. Actually tells you where your tax dollars are going. Also, information about our installment payment plan, where it wouldn't be eligible for this year, but you can sign up for next year and make 4 quarterly payments, so you don't have to pay all at once. Also, a reminder, November, you get your payment in, you save 4%. Next month, 3%, 2%, and then 1%. Until the month of March, no discount, and you're due by the 31st. Also, I want to let everyone know, I mentioned this a couple months ago at one of your meetings. We have our MV Express fast vehicle registration kiosk. As of yesterday, we now have one in the Village Commons Publix. So anyone who needs to renew their vehicle registration up to, I believe it's 6 months past the due date, can just go right down to the Publix. You'll need a credit card and your vehicle information, and right there, and in 2 to 3 minutes, you will have vehicle registration. And you will not have to worry about not being within the code. Also, Veterans Day coming up, we want to remind everyone that our office is offering a Vietnam veteran commemorative 50th anniversary lapel pin. If you check your reporter, and we have an article in there from our tax talk, just go to our website and you can request that pin if you or a family member were in the war during that time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question for her.
Sure, go ahead. Don.
Is your kiosk going to be are you, on the kiosk? I'm over here. On the kiosk, are you going to be able to register for more than 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
I personally registered for 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
Come up to the microphone so we could.
So we can hear it.
Want me to bring her a microphone? I will.
Can,
I'll bring her a microphone.
Go ahead, Patricia.
If I get it out.
Thank you.
That sounds like Mrs. Winston.
Patience.
Who is it?
We're bringing someone a microphone.
Who is it?
All the way in the back, Patricia.
I need the exercise anyway. Hi. Who is it?
All the way in the back.
Okay, I'm coming. Here I am. There you go. Okay, I'm fine, thank you.
I was at the meeting yesterday, and we were told everyone in the village would be entitled to use those pools once they go in.
No.
They lied to us at yesterday's meeting. People in there were saying you can use the pools whether you are Jewish, Catholic, Protestant.
Somebody asked that question and they said no.
Some of the Jewish women told some other women, they said, I'm Jewish, can I use the pool? They said, sure.
Bobby, you had a question?
I don't.
Come on up.
Anybody else?
Just wanted to, while there was a break in the discussion, I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention that your Transportation Committee has approved 2 excursion trips.
Yes, I did.
And because of the schedule for the reporter, I just want to let you know that the first trip is to the Port of Palm Beach on December 8th. And sign up will be in the clubhouse lobby on November 29th and November 30th. So we'll have this on the blog, but if you're interested, we're only taking 40 people on that day. In January, we have a trip scheduled to the Holocaust Documentation Center in Dania Beach, and that will be in the reporter also.
Thank you, Bobby. Dr. H., you had a question, or you wanted to make a statement?
Richard Handelsman, Plymouth 5. I was at the meeting yesterday. There are several misconceptions about the Chaim Hasidim's requests. Their pool, I suggested yesterday that we compromise. Politics and often marriages are compromises, and I suggested use 1 pool, not 2. That would eliminate the need to move the pool, to move the pumping station. You could increase the barrier, and there would be fewer parking spaces. But that's up to the county commissioners later on. That the pools are not open to everyone is no big deal. There are 5 condominium pools in this village. They are open only to those members of that condominium. That's the way it is. And as for the internal room that they want, it's simply 1 room, 1/11th of the 32,000 square feet of the medical building. The room they want to use is currently unused. No commercial or retail enterprises will be affected in any way. Thank you.
Until they decide to tear the building down.
I see we have some gentlemen here. Do you guys need to, would you like to come up?
Do they have, you have their card?
Nobody gave me their card. I only got Amy's card. She's the only one that likes us.
Do you have a card, sir?
I do not have a card with me. I am Rodney Statham from the Palm Beach County Clerk's Office. But I can get you a card the next time.
Sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that the Clerk's Office has a new feature for customer service video chat. So if you have any questions pertaining to a criminal court case, traffic tickets, marriage license, passports, or jury duty, you can go online and speak to someone face-to-face, but through the computer. This is going to happen on every Wednesday at 11:30 till 1:30. So if you have any questions, general questions that you want to get answered, if you don't want to pick up the phone, you don't want to come down to the courthouse, you can just go online, and you can find that information on our website. It's right on the front page. It is mypalmbeachclerk.com. mypalmbeachclerk.com. Again, thank you, and everyone have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Can you tell us who you're from, please?
He or I?
You, sir.
I sure will. Good morning, Derek Hankerson, Office of Congressman Mast. I have to tell you, I always love being with you all, but during the Christmas season, I always feel like singing. I feel like singing because in prep school or high school in Maryland, I was the president of the boys' choir, so we used to sing wonderful songs by Barry Manilow. You remember, I write the songs that make the world. Anyway, I won't bore you with that today. But long story short, I'm very thrilled that Congressman Mast will be here today. The congressman always likes to meet my people. I've been with the congressman since he was first elected, and my people in Fort Pierce looked about my shade. So now that I represent the Jupiter office, my people are you all. Today, we're going to have a few presentations. We're going to have a presentation from our wonderful Commissioner Weiss on Community Services, Division of Senior and Veteran Services. We're going to have Scott Prescott from Social Security to talk about the 8.7% raise in Social Security. We'll also have two representatives from the IRS, Teresa Lakati-Buldick, and also Linda Berkman. Last thing, an officer had talked about a fraud form. If there is any point in time when you would like for us to put together any type of presentation, whether it's Social Security, whether it's Veterans Affairs, whether it's a fraud form, please get with me. Would love to be able to put that together. Thank you so much. God bless you. And if I don't see you, have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Stick around.
Do we have anything for the good of the order? Anybody would like to come up and say anything?
Someone's at the mic.
No?
I just have a comment. You know, you're talking about the pools, whose pool is this, whose pool is that. This is not a religious community. It's not supposed to be your pool, my church. We have more synagogues here. I think I'm going to convert so I can use all pools. My question is to Donald, what the new traffic light on Haverhill, what was the purpose of that? Because we already have a crosswalk that gives you 15 seconds or whatever to come across. So what is that, what was the purpose of this?
Marianne, that re-signalization was done at the request of Congregation to Eitz Chaim, and it was in response to a fatality that happened last year.
Okay, did we pay for that traffic light or them?
We all pay for traffic lights through our taxes.
Okay, like I say, another quick question. We have a lot of young people moving into the village that shouldn't be moving into the village. So people, these boards that just want to fill their units, think about it. Really think about it hard, because we got a kid over in Somerset riding his bike around. He's going to get hit by a car.
Marianne, you're talking to probably the only Simon Legreed in Century Village that was involved in the eviction of a baby. I didn't even know his name. He was just baby.
All right. In the meantime, if I want to swim in certain pools, being I'm not of their religion, I'm banned from the pool. I can go over to the medical building and swim in the pool?
No.
Okay, thank you.
There is no pool left.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about flea markets on the property. People have flea markets in their parking lots occasionally on this property in Century Village.
Yeah.
But you want to tell me why Seacrest is about to give us a fine for having one at the moment in our parking spots in front of Dorchester G?
All right, in the first place, Seacrest has no authority to fine anyone.
That's what I thought. That's why I'm here.
An individual association may govern their property as they please. The
And
only
we
entity
did.
here that could issue a fine would be an association, and that would only be if they have a fining committee, which
They
none of
call
us
me
have
in.
that. So yes, I'm aware of what's going on, and I just got a text, what's going on in Dorchester D.
And they were only taking up their own parking spots, no one else's.
All right, was that approved by the board of directors?
Yes, it's been
Okay, so you'll work
planned
that
for
out,
the
you'll work
last
that
3
out with
months.
your property manager. I can tell you from a community standpoint, I do not allow any signage to be put on the main roads of Century Village. My
No,
security,
they were put on bulletin boards, and they're all going to come down after.
well, that's fine.
afterwards.
Just so you know, the one thing we do get involved with is signage. We won't allow it on the.
No, the signage will be
Or
gone
balloons or
after
anything like
tomorrow,
that.
because we're doing it today and tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm back, David. Donald, I'm back. Okay, there's 5 pools in Century Village that are private, which have fences around them. You've got to have your own ID for that association, and I'm one of them. And everything else is all open to you. But we have people coming in that are not in that association, and they're climbing the fence. I have pictures of them putting chairs, climbing over our fence.
Oh, boy.
To get in. Well, you know what? The police are going to be there. I'm not even going to warn them. Police are coming in, and they're going to arrest them. So if you don't have your ID and you're in the wrong association, you don't belong there, you're out.
There's a new sheriff in town.
You got
Her
Donald?
name is Cookie.
Don,
Donald, I'm back.
Don, can I say something on that?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, you'll notice that WPRF, every one of their pools has a sign on the building except for one, and that would be Dorchester. The Dorchester pool doesn't have one. I know because I put them up there. So anything that has WPRF pool is open to anyone.
The public.
That's it.
All right.
Public pools, that's right.
Go ahead.
Once again, 2 things. First of all, most people don't realize that the medical building property is private. It's got nothing to do with UCO or with Century Village. Secondly, at the last meeting, 3 delegates raised issues about underrepresentation by delegates, about the rise in internet fees, and the last person was concerned about the transfer of money to pay for the air conditioning in this building. I have the contracts that govern all these procedures. After this meeting is adjourned, if anyone is interested, I'll be right there and explain to you why these procedures are enforced. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Before I ask for adjournment, I just want to remind everybody that you will have people here making presentations. So stay put if you're interested in Medicare, IRS, Congressman Mass, or anything else that might make your life better. I'll entertain a motion to
Well,
adjourn.
just 1 second, Fausto, I just would like to comment that we have elections coming up for officers in Century Village, and it's really important for people to come up and to be part of the village and the management of the village, so please consider running for office. It's very, very important to protect your financial interests. Thank you.
Motion made by Richard, seconded by? Seconded by Cookie. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, guys, the town hall meeting is going to start immediately. Since I see Commissioner Weiss here, ready to go, perhaps he can give his presentation first.
I'm not going to do it. Of course they're going to go to Golden Corral. They have beautiful.
No rush.
I tried my best. I mentioned it 3
Like a little
times.
something to snack.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, you damn right. No, I like that you give a couple of drinks like you said hi. What's up? You want Stuart? Joanne.
Look, I put these pants on.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, if they close at 8:30, that's it.
Yep, I heard.
Yep. Got to try to get here on time. I got nothing to do. I know. But they at 8:30, they head up and that's it.
Good, good.
So,
I heard we got it.
I'm sorry. How's everything going?
Good deal. I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Yep. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going down. No. Got a question.
No, I am, seriously. I already, you can, not me. I already talked to David. I wanted to make a lunch. We didn't think, oh,
Good to see you. Good to meet you. Thank you. I'm just gonna go down.
Thank you, I'm sorry. I knew that was gonna happen. And I tried to shield you as much as I could.
and I apologize, I didn't mean to say anything that wasn't. Make sure they see. It's, yeah, I just, no,
I can't put him in.
Yeah, a little chilly. Ronnie, you want to stick around for this?
No, they don't understand.
I thought, I can give you my number. Okay.
These presentations from supposedly Congressman Mast, Commissioner Weiss, representatives from Social Security, Medicare. I want to stay and make a little thing.
Oh.
Up to you. You got someplace else to be.